Welcome to the Encouragement Engineering Podcast, where we help people to combat the negativity that inundates our daily lives with a positive perspective and positive action. Today's guest is JR Rivera. Our guest today had teachers tell him he would never amount to anything, but God had another plan for him. From high school dropout to faith-filled entrepreneur, living a life of limitless possibilities, and the title, The Results Leader. JR has had a life of overcoming adversity and challenges and failures into freedom. His podcast, The Podcast Factory, has over 5 million downloads. He's helped over 117 experts launch podcasts and appear in over 1,457 episodes to help others create strategies to get more leads. He is the CEO of 4 businesses in real estate, media, e-commerce, and the Podcast Factory agency. So please welcome to the show, JR Rivera. JR, thank you for taking the time to be here today. I really appreciate it.
Bob, I feel like you know more about me than I do. All that that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always, I like reading the bios because you definitely find out a lot about people and, the way they're written, you see the initial piece of the overcoming. So why don't we get right into that and tell people a little bit about you and how you got to where you are, because it sounds like you had some hurdles early in life.
I don't know. I think that it's a matter of perspective. And to me, obstacles equal opportunities, failure equals fuel. And the only time you really fail is if you quit. And the thing about me is I just am either too dumb or too stubborn to quit. I don't know which one it is. And it depends on who you ask, right? But I feel blessed, man. I feel lucky. I have a mission that was given to me from the Lord up above. And it quite simply breaks down to this: the right words from the right person at the right time can change your life. And I have been fortunate in reading books, listening to podcasts, going to events, meeting mentors, that each experience where someone said something to me that totally changed the way I looked at things, totally changed my perspective, and totally changed my trajectory in life. And so now that's what I do is work.
Yeah.
I am building a bridge between our experts and their listeners to help every one of those listeners out there have one of those moments where they hear the right words from the right person at the right time, and it changes their life.
And that's awesome. I mean, you think about that impact of what you can do and that opportunity of that to change people's lives, to give them hope. And I think that's the best part of doing any type of podcast or speaking to any type of group. It's giving people that hope, because the way our times are, I mean, things can be crazy. We're going 200 miles an hour, 20 different directions all the time. And then somebody comes along and says, hey, you know what, if you just look at this a little differently, it doesn't look so bad. And that really helps people. So thank you for doing that. No,
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. God put me onto this, and I'm just doing what he put me here to do.
Well, that brings up a good point, because I actually heard it in a sermon this Sunday too about that scenario. Is we have to stop trying to steer our lives and surrender more. Do you find that that you have to do that more?
Brother, this is interesting because we haven't spoken about this, but it was one of the greatest lessons that I learned in the last year. And look, right now, things are going great. I just got off my leadership meeting, and they're like, we need more writers, we need more audio engineers, we need more video engineers. All that means is that we're making greater impact, serving more people and helping, and we need to bring more people into the fold. Last year, who can we let go? What can we do? We're hemorrhaging money. Cost of goods is going up.
Right.
We're losing clients. And in that period, man, when you're in that storm,
yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah.
You're in there and you're looking around. Everything seems hopeless and dark. And that's where I was last year. We had a tough year last year. And the one thing that kept me going was my morning ritual, in that I do a rosary. Right. I read the Bible. I have that time in his word.
Right.
And something triggered me last year where everything seemed, I mean, I had money in crypto. I lost a ton of money. Like everything was just hitting. And I was like, I got to let go. And that was where I learned, really, or not that I learned, but I took it to heart: surrender. It was time for me to let go at last. Let go. Let him do the steering, because it's his anyways, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I let go. And what I learned in letting go was the other part. And I'm a Catholic man, and
Yeah.
one of the things that we learn in our faith is forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I mean, God sent Jesus, his only son, to suffer and die for us, to forgive us for our sins. What a beautiful thing. And I have found that that is the cornerstone of our religion. Yet us as entrepreneurs, as business people, when we make mistakes, when we do things wrong, we don't forgive ourselves.
No.
What?
Yeah.
So we're not even practicing our faith, right? And so,
Yeah.
in learning about the surrender while all that was going on, I also learned about grace and forgiving myself for the mistakes, and to help me come out the other side to where today, yeah, everything seems good now. Year ago, different story.
Yeah. Wow. And that leads back to my next question about mindset. Do you think that creating your belief, did you think your mindset helps you to achieve, or does your belief help you to achieve?
Wow, that's interesting. Separating mindset from belief. I think that what we're really discussing here is faith. And
Yeah.
I think faith is a beautiful thing because we have this wonderful book. I'm looking at my big study Bible right there. The thing's probably 10 pounds over there. And I love it. When I wake up in the morning and I pet it and I say good morning to it, good morning. It's nice to see you. I'm going to get to read and learn from you. But we have 2,000-year-old text here, actually older, right? Because if
Yeah.
we go to the Old Testament, it's even older, goes back to
Yeah.
Egypt. Um, and there's all these stories in there that we cannot see, right?
Right.
We didn't
Yeah.
see this. It was all written. And it's up to us to have faith and believe, right? And so for me, I think that having faith in the word, having
Yeah.
faith in God teaches us to have faith in other things that we can't see. That's why we can let go and surrender and trust his plan for us. So I think that faith is the mindset. Having that faith builds the mindset for you to succeed.
Okay. Awesome. And that's wow. You explain it well because yeah, it does integrate so well with everything we do. And like you said those passages that they tell you to surrender and grace and faith. We don't give ourselves grace. We don't give, we don't have faith in a lot of other people. It's like, wait a second, it is hard to do this. Let's not kid each other. It is hard to toe that line. Just like in anything in business, any discipline in life, it's hard to stay at it. It's interesting though, because I find like reading your bio and stuff and some of the things on your webpage, you have some contrarian ideas, if you will. How working dumber is the key to exponential growth, or how giving value devalues you, and why it's better to receive than give. Can you explain some of those? Because those are they catch your eye.
That's copywriting.
Yeah, I was like, what? Wait a
That's right.
second.
What is this guy talking about?
Right.
Other ones, why God wants you to be filthy, stinking rich. I use all those to get attention, right? That's my job as a marketer. But it's quite simply, let's take them one at a time, and then we can break it down from there. But working, everybody says you got to work smarter, not harder.
Right.
And that's something that's hard for somebody like me who came from the blue collar world where it was hours and production and how much pipe you laid and all that. It's like I work harder and I get more done. And that was the way I grew up. That's what my dad taught me. My father taught me to use my back into it and do work. My dad still messes around with a shovel in the yard, loves using his wheelbarrow. And I'm like, dude, get over it already. You're 72. Let it go. But that's what I learned. And that's cool. And that will only get you so far. We only have so many hours in a day. We all have the same 24 hours. And as I was growing this business, I realized I was like every other entrepreneur. It's my baby. It's my idea. Anything that you can do, I can do better. And that mindset only gets you so far.
Right.
And then what? And this is where the make or break moment, when you start looking at, I can only get so far by myself.
Right.
So how do I bring other people to help me with this vision, with this mission? And what I discovered over the years, I didn't discover this by myself. Mentorship, masterminds, being around the right people, they taught me that I needed to find people who were smarter than me to do the things. And in fact, I just had that level 10 meeting. My wife, I call her Cupcake. She is the chief financial officer. She went to school for that.
Yeah.
All right. She can run those spreadsheets. I don't know anything about that. I don't want to know anything about that. I've got an operations guy. Dude is in there running operations, streamlining, all that good stuff. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not what I do. What I do is I talk, I speak with guys like you. I lead the team and I write. That's what I do. And so those guys, my wife, Rishi, they're smarter than me.
Right.
Those things. And so the key here is I just need to do what I do. I'm dumb at everything else. Get the smart people to do that and surround myself with people smarter than me doing those things that actually give them energy, light them up so that I can just do what I do. And so that's what I call working dumber, is like, I don't need to learn that.
Right. Get the experts.
Yeah, people for that. All right. What was the next one? That's fun.
Giving value devalues you. Yeah.
This is and this is huge in podcasting. This is one of the things that we work with our clients on all the time, is like they come to me with this idea of pushing the free line. And I like, anytime I hear that, I just hear Anthony Kiedis in my head. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away. I'm like, yeah, just give it away. That's what you want to do, right? Give it away. What happens is, and what I know this because I've experienced it. You give all your best stuff away and people do not value you.
Right.
They just take, and you start attracting freebie seekers, people who just take with no gratitude. And I don't think that any of us is going to stay in business for very long if we give everything away for free.
Right.
That's my take on it. Now, there is something that we can give that can change a life and still makes you more valuable. And we talked about it already. Right words, right person, right time. Perspective shift. Change the way somebody sees the problem and you change them for life. And once you change them, you are now valuable. You've now demonstrated value, not given value. And now they can come to you and say, hey, I never thought about that in quite the way that you explained it. Can you help me? Boom. Right. Now you're more valuable.
Makes sense. Yeah. Demonstrate that value. Don't just give it away.
Don't give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think of it, and your analogy with, like you said, how much pipe you can lay, or your dad's out in the yard digging and stuff. Okay, yeah, you can do that. But if you're giving away that that pounding of the shovel and the digging, you're wearing yourself out. You're not giving yourself any value. I mean, that takes time, wears you down. You're aching for 2 days afterwards. Like you say, get the experts that can do it in a shorter time period. It'll save your back. You appreciate the value they provide. It's a full circle there. So great explanation with those. And the last one is, why is it better to receive than give?
Oh, I love this one. This is the one that pisses people off. I remember one time when we were looking for preschools for our son. We went around to all different schools and saw different campuses, and one of them we fell in love with. It was so cute and so quaint, so nice. It was 15 minutes from the house, so it was really, really cool. And as we finish the tour, we get out to the lobby, and there's this sign there that says it's better to give than receive. And I'm like, oh, we can't send this kid to this school. No. And my wife's like, what? Perfect. And I said, no, because these people don't get it, right? They don't get, and maybe it's a little strange, but the way that I feel about this is God gave us talents.
Right.
He gave us talents, and it's up to us to multiply those talents. And there's the parable of talents. You guys can look it up. I'm not going to quote it here because I'll butcher it. But he gave us talents, and what he wants us to do with those talents is to glorify his name, do work, multiply the talents that we were given. And so if you're always giving stuff away, you can't multiply by zero.
Right?
It's just impossible. Go ahead. Anything times zero? What is it? Zero.
Zero.
No. That's not hard math at all. I can do that math. So the way that I look at it is, God has given me these talents. I'm going to multiply them so that I can receive. And when I receive, God has also planted in my head that it is my job to give. All
Right.
right. So I give to my church. I give to the school. I give to Paradisus Day. I give to the Catholic Appeal. I
Right.
give, baby, and I give hard.
Hmm.
In fact, one of the things that I heard that has inspired me is you can't outgive God.
Right.
That's
Right.
his son. And I'm like, let's go, game on, right? Let's go. I'm going to try because that's what he wants. That's what he
Yeah.
wants. He wants us to be good stewards. And so he gave me these talents. These talents give me treasure, and I take that treasure and then I give it where I think it's important, to my church, to the school. Like, that's why I say that it's better to receive, do the work,
Yeah.
multiply your talents, and then give to the charities, to the things that are important to you.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, that explains that. That's a good one because I often tell people, it's money is a tool. It is not a possession we can keep. It's not anything you can take with you. It's like your hammer. Do you love your hammer? Not really. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's a tool you use for building a bigger structure. And money is the same way. You're going to use that to build a bigger structure, whether your church or synagogue needs a new roof. You help them repair that. Like you said, you can donate to different causes that need the help, and they can allocate the funds they see as necessary. But don't ever be in love with money because it's not ours to begin with. And
It's a flow. Money is a flow, and we have to keep
yeah,
it moving.
right, exactly. And it's definitely doing that when you have kids. It flows real well out the door.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Now, obviously, you talked about your faith is a big part of who you are and so forth. Does that help you be more confident in what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a progression. I can't
Mhm.
say that I've always been this much into it, but now I'm chasing wisdom every single day because I realize the answers are all in the book.
Right,
We
right.
got this text with all the answers, and so to gain wisdom, it's a pretty simple formula, and you might overlook this, but it really is this simple. And we read, we
Yeah,
read, we think about what we read, and we put it into work.
right.
That's it. That's how you gain wisdom. You read, right? Learn something new. You think about it, and then you put it to work. And that, when you're putting it to work and you're getting the feedback from the world, that's where the learning actually happens. And so I can confidently go every day and do the work that I'm doing because I know that I'm in line with my purpose. I'm
Right.
in line with what he put me here for. And even if I don't get it right at first, get some feedback, make a
Yeah,
correction, and keep going. And so, yeah, it has helped my confidence a great deal. Not only that, but I'm excited to get out of bed. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm
yeah,
excited to be here and share these messages because I know the work that we're doing is for a higher purpose.
right. And that's a great piece you said right there. Be working for a higher purpose. I think that's so important. It's not about me. I have these podcasts so that people can, like you said, gain that little tidbit that maybe they didn't hear from somebody else, or they'll gain that insight that they didn't see all before, and it just dawned on them, or it just came into light as it is. It's not necessarily for me. I get a lot out of them too. I meet great people. I learn a lot, but it's for everybody else because we need that perspective. We need that positive growth, that hope in our world. And that's what we're here for today, I think, is to share that with people. So, um,
Encourage them.
yeah, exactly. Keep them positive. We can get beat down by going outside, between the weather, the news, and anything else. You can find negativity pretty easily. But I prefer to stay on the positive, prefer to stay on the object of, what's coming in the future, the positiveness we have. And it's interesting because even the Bible, it's not there. It's not just all Pollyanna. You've got Job that was, doubtful, and he was in pain a lot and things like that. You have other people that went through all kinds of trials and tribulations. God said he wasn't coming here to make things easy, so okay. We complicate it. You bring up some great points there. It's easy. You read, you interpret, you put to action. We complicate it. God give us 10 commandments, not 10 suggestions, 10 commandments. That's all there is. And it's like, okay, it's not complicated here. We overcomplicate it. So,
All day. Yeah.
you know, it's really something. So, um, it's one of the other things too I notice is I think you mentioned gratitude has limitless possibilities. Can you explain that for us?
And that was one of the first big lessons that I had as an adult, in changing, because when I was a kid, I was powered by negativity. And I think that that's part of youth.
Hmm.
And that's part of growing up, is like, I'll show them. I mean,
Right.
obviously, in the bio you read, I wasn't supposed to mount anything. I'll show them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So there's a
Right.
limit to that power. And then you have to find a higher power. And this came to me, I'd have to say around 2010, where I was out in the jungles of Costa Rica with a group of marketers, and we were doing some work out there. And one of the guys pulled me aside and told me, I see some potential in you, man, and you're going to be doing big things. Have you ever practiced gratitude? I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What? And he taught me the gratitude exercise. And it was quite simply, grab a journal. You can do this with a pen and paper, index
Hmm.
card, doesn't matter, pencil, or you can do it in your head. But I think it's more powerful if you write it down. But uh, in the morning when you wake up, 5 things you're grateful for. In the evening before you go to bed, 5 things you're grateful for, and do this every day. That's all. That's all it was, a journal. And that's how I started journaling. Actually, my journaling practice started with just that. And what happens is, over the course of 30 days, what you're going to figure out is you're going to find some of your core values.
Right.
Because what happens is you cannot keep saying new things. So don't even try. Just say whatever you're grateful for: this cup of coffee, good night's sleep, a kiss from my kiddo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're going to find your core values in the things that you repeat over and over again. And that's where I figured out, for me, it was faith, family, fitness, and finances. Those were the things that were my pillars of purpose, because I kept returning to them.
Right.
And that whole process opened me up to realizing, oh, when you're in gratitude, you can't be negative. And when
Yeah.
you're in gratitude, you start attracting more of these things. And I'm not talking law of attraction. I'm talking about, hey, I like this. I want
Right.
more of it.
Right.
Real simple stuff. And that gratitude is something that we still practice to this day. 5 things I was grateful for this morning when we put the kiddo to bed. What was your favorite part of today? What are you grateful for? So morning and night, we're still doing it. I'm teaching it to him. And I think that if you want a better life, if you want better possibilities, you have to know what that looks like, and you have to know what it is that really moves you. And the way to do it is the gratitude journal. 5 things in the morning, 5 things at night. Real simple.
That's awesome. Well, we'll definitely make sure we post about that, and let's make sure we tell people, where can people get a hold of you? Where can they find you? Let us know all that so that they can, follow you, get in touch with you for services you offer. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm on a mission to change the world, and I'm doing it through the experts that we work with, who have uplifting, positive, motivational messages. So, if you need to be uplifted, like you're hanging out here with us at the
Yeah.
Encouragement Engineer, so it's a natural transition to go check out thepodcastfactory.com, and there's a tab for the client showcase. And there's, at the time we're recording this, maybe 90 shows on there that you can choose from. Find a flavor you like, click on it, and check it out. There's plenty of people there doing the right thing. We vet them, and we make sure that we're working with only the best. The other thing is, if you have a message, a mission, a purpose, and you want to get it out to more people, that's what we specialize in. And same thing, thepodcastfactory.com, and book a call, and we can discuss how to build a bridge from the listener to your cash register so that you can make an impact.
There you go. Awesome. And that's important. That's what we're here for, is get the word out and, turn that around, so you can help others with it. So great information there, JR. Thanks so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate your time, your insight, your enthusiasm. Let's keep in touch. We'll make sure we have all this information on the podcast for when we put it out for people to contact you. But I want to thank you for being a guest on the Encouragement Engineering podcast. I really appreciate your time today.
Brother, thanks for letting me hang out with you. It was a blast.
Not a problem. You have a great day.